It's been a little hectic, a little crazy. So little life update. Okay, it's June, the end of June, which is crazy. I don't think the last time we've talked, it has been since like February. I have officially graduated from yoga teacher training. I started teaching about 2 weeks ago. The Golden Gal Network is going so amazing, so great. We had our first weekend retreat, and I've increased our meetups to once a month to like 3 to 4 times a month. I cut my hair. It's summer. Well, it's just about summer, but I cut my hair. I've been loving the shorter look. It has been making my getting ready and everything just like so much easier. My hair today is kind of crazy. I have the curling iron started because I am getting ready for my day. Last weekend I saw that plums were on sale, so I picked up some plums and I'm just about done canning all of my plums. If you have listened to the podcast or have, you know, watched my videos before, you know that I love jam making. If this is your first time watching my videos, hi, hello, welcome. Last year I did my first ever, what was it last year? I don't think anything last year was like a first, but I've done peach jam, I've done blackberry jam, strawberry jam. This year, I decided that I'm gonna do plum jam. Plums were on sale. Instead of being like $4 per pound, they were closer to, it was like $1.99. I was like, oh heck yeah. So I loaded up all of those plums and I get to the register. I picked up like a couple of other things as well. The boy who's like checking me out, I see it ring across that it was like apricots, $5.99 per pound, and I had gotten like 10 pounds, so that was $50, and I was like, oh gosh, like that's not the right amount. But we got that all straightened out, and I was really excited because I do jam as like a hobby. I gift it to like my friends, my family. You know, if I'm hosting people at my house, I love to host people, I will have jam and fresh bread. I've always made like a super easy bread. I take like 3 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of warm water, and then I use yeast, active dry yeast from the grocery store, and that has always like worked out in my favor. It takes about 2 hours to do, and I always get like a pretty good loaf. Well, I have finally decided, after many videos of sourdough on my For You page, I think today is the day that I'm gonna start my very own sourdough starter. Last year I had so much going on with like weddings and bachelorettes, and like we just were like never home. This year I feel like I have more control over my time. Some people will buy sourdough starter from someone else. They will get the bacteria dried and then they, you know, rehydrate it at their home. I do love the aspect of a sourdough starter to be able to like gift to other people, right? Just like I gift my jam or any of the other things that I make. But some people spend a lot of money on like 3,000-year-old starter, and I just honestly, like, I don't have the time to research the best one. There's always the chance that that starter won't start for you in your home. I just like Googled, I was like, how do you make your own starter? And it's pretty simple, and I didn't realize it to be that simple, but you just need to pick up some wheat flour, some unbleached bread flour, and have filtered water. I know people get very into their sourdough and they are like very specific in the way everything out. And I do realize that sourdough will take a bit of technique. I'm a little bit nervous, but I did find someone on social media. Let me pull her up. It's Jackie. She is a sourdough enthusiast. Her @ name is @Casa Calafino. She made it seem so simple on her page. She was like, oh, like, let's make a 7-day starter. And I was like, okay, 7-day starter, you got it. I can do that. I've, you know, made many pieces or loaves of bread. I don't know if this is gonna be anything in comparison or if I'm getting myself into a bit of a mess. We will see, but I am really excited. But since I've created all of this jam, I would love to have sourdough to go with it. Okay, we've made it to the kitchen. I have my King Arthur whole wheat flour. I just picked up. I really wanted to start this starter yesterday, but I didn't realize that I actually wanted to do this until later that afternoon. I picked up 2 types of flour. I picked up bread flour, unbleached bread flour, and then regular flour, both King Arthur brands. Then when I started looking at everyone's like TikTok pages to make your own sourdough starter, they all said that I need wheat flour. On day 1, it seems pretty easy. So I have my clean mason jar. It helps that I'm like canning right now. All my jars are sterilized and clean. I have my little coffee scale here. I'm gonna set my jar up and we're gonna measure out 50 grams of the whole wheat flour and 50 grams of water. Okay, I have my clean mason jar. I have my scale zeroed out and I'm going to be adding 50 grams of this whole wheat flour, placing it into the jar until this says 50. There we go, 50 grams. Okay, now I'm gonna zero out the scale one more time so it's showing 0, and I'm gonna add 50 grams of water to the flour. Okay, I was a little nervous to add the water to get it right at 50 because it's not like I can spoon the water back out, but there is 50 grams and we're gonna give it a little stir. So I thought that 50 grams was going to be like way more than this. It is not. But the first day, literally, this is all we're doing. And there you have it, the start of a beautiful thing. We have the 50 grams of water, 50 grams of wheat flour. I am gonna place a clean lid on top. I'm not gonna screw anything on because the pressure and the bubbles could cause an explosion. I'm gonna place this on our counter, and tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. Add 50 grams of water, 50 grams of whole wheat flour. I am just gonna let that rest. Hopefully in 7 days we have some sourdough, which we have been making plum jam. So I have some jam starting to bubble here. It is just about ready to can. Already got this all canned up. I will say here are some splatters. I'll get those clean. I actually have never made plum jam before, so I'm excited to how it's turning out. It's the most beautiful color in the world. But yeah, I'm gonna clean this, move this back over, and then put our hot water bath on, and we'll be able to can the rest of it. Clean the stove up, swap the jam to the correct side. I've been boiling these jars for probably about 10 minutes. It has vinegar in it as well. I had the lid on, I just took it off, and I'm gonna pull them out, put them over here, and start jarring up my jam. The steam can get so hot, but I just pull them out with my little jar grabbers. I dump the water back into the boiling pot, and I set them over here. Already the jars have been cleaned and sterilized, and then I put them in the pot of boiling water to bring them to temperature so that when I pour the hot jam in, it doesn't bust the jar with the temperature change. So I'm pulling them out. This is my last batch of jam. I have this little guy. I ran out of little jars. I need to eat some more strawberry jam to, you know, replenish my stock. Now I'm just gonna pull out the lids and set them on top. I didn't end up using this small little jar. I had just a little bit left in my pot, so I put it in that one. That had some left over from the batch beforehand, and I just poured the little extra on top. So I'm going to put the lids on and then put it in the hot water bath for 10 minutes. The shine in this jam is honestly stunning. So you can tell my different batches. This was my very first batch, my second batch, my third batch. My fourth batch, I totally miscalculated and I only made one jar, and then the half jar that I threw in the fridge. And then my last is these three. They do look darker, but it's just because those are in the sunlight. I cannot touch these or move them for like 24 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. I'll probably move them tomorrow morning. This one as well, because I made earlier. These I can move and I can put away. Throughout the next, I don't know, hour, I'll hear like the lids popping or sealing. So I need to clean my office. It's a bit of a mess. And we're recording a podcast for the Golden Hour Drip Friday episode, so I need to prep and prepare for that. The kitchen is clean, my jam is done, and my sourdough starter is hanging out over there. And yeah, we're done in the kitchen. This is what I'm talking about. My entire office is so messy. I feel like after the retreat weekend, I just had so many different crafts going on. I was making my Ask the Gals cards. I was making their little welcome baskets and planning. It's been over a week and a half, but the office just has been one of those things that has gone to the wayside. So I'm gonna spend the next 20 minutes. I'm gonna do a speed clean. I mean, most of it is not bad. It just needs a little bit of organization, and I pretty much have like strewn everything out. So I just need to put, oh, there's the lipstick that I've been looking for a week and a half now, because I took this on the Golden Gal Network weekend retreat. It has like the actual nice finished Ask the Gals questions, and while we were hopping through all the wineries, I had like put my lip gloss in here. Anyways, it always helps when you do a little bit of cleaning, because then you find the things that you've been looking for literally all week. So I'm just gonna be speed cleaning really quick so that I can have a nice space, a nice setting for podcast recording, and so that I'm not looking at a mess. Well, I still have a couple things on my desk. It is vastly way cleaner than it was. I'm feeling good. I have a couple like cords and things for podcast recording that are gonna stay out just for a little bit. I've set up to record, I've vacuumed, I'm feeling good. Now I can go through all of the submissions, pick my stories, and record the podcast. I just feel so accomplished. I always feel like the things that you procrastinate don't take that much time at all. Like, you're always thinking, oh, this is gonna take forever, this is gonna take forever. But I knocked that out in 15 minutes. So it's much cleaner, I'm feeling better. I know tomorrow when I come into my office to work, that's also gonna make me feel better. Like, oh, it's already clean. I can like mark it off my list and, you know, continue on. Speaking of crossing it off my list, I'm gonna do it now, because honestly, it feels so good to accomplish that. I still need to mop, but that will be for tomorrow. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller. To get that completed. And now I'm just going to write down my sequence for today's, you know, yoga class. And then I like to write down some of the things for the meditation as well, just to give myself some reminders, especially like when we start going in class. I'm like, oh, like where are we? What are we doing? And it just like helps center myself a little bit. So I'm going to write that down and head off to go teach my yoga class. Okay, it looks very suspicious out, like it might rain, and guess what? We have an 84% at 7 p.m., which is when my yoga class starts. I wonder how many people are signed up and how many people drop, because TBH, I would not want to go in the rain. So I have 7 people signed up. We'll see if they actually come or if they cancel, but I have my handy dandy notebook and we are headed to yoga. These little gin-gins, it's a little treat to myself. They're these ginger candies. I'm honestly obsessed with them, but they are so good. And since I got a podcast recorded, I have my office cleaned, I'm headed to yoga, not to take but to teach. I was like, I am gonna grab one out the door, and it's already warmed up to my vehicle of being like a super like taffy like substance. So good though. So we're headed off to yoga class. Let's go. Okay, we made it home from yoga. It was a beautiful class. I actually had everybody attend and then one extra drop in. So I was like, oh my gosh, welcome, welcome, right? For a moment there, the rain got kind of heavy and there was like an accident and I was so afraid. I was like, oh gosh, I cannot get in an accident right before class. I always like leave a little bit early just in case, because my first time ever teaching a class, I was subbing for someone. So I went to a studio that I don't even teach at. It was like a different franchise branch, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get there 30 minutes earlier than the 30 minutes early that I have to get there. So essentially I'm gonna be an hour long there, or hour early. There was a massive wreck on 460 and I was at standstill 4-lane traffic, and I was like, okay, like 4 lanes because 1 lane is merging. There's two spots that needed to merge, and right by both of the merges was a accident and it pushed my time back. I wasted 30 minutes like in this traffic. I was so petrified that I wasn't going to be able to get out. It's my first time teaching and I'm subbing, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody because normally there's just like one person at the studio and that's the teacher, and we lock the doors and everything's fine and dandy, or like 1 or 2, but normally there's always a class going. And after that day, leaving 30 minutes early like saved me, like 30 minutes earlier than my early. And so like I'm always trying to like leave a little bit early, and I got there right on time. It did rain, I think, a little bit here, which this morning I watered my lilac bushes, my 2 split leaf monsteras, and then my zinnias are growing. I had 1 bloom. Finally, been looking forward to these things, but now I'm gonna finish up my evening. Garrett made tacos and it's gonna be a chill night. It's already 9 o'clock, so I'm feeling a little tired. It's been a long, good day, and I will see you in the morning. Back in my favorite corner of the world, which is my coffee and now sourdough area. Even though I don't think my sourdough did anything last night, today we are just adding another 50 grams of flour and water. Honestly, it's done nothing. I did put a little pony popper or a rubber band on it to gauge if it bubbles or anything. It did nothing, but that's to be expected because it's day 1. I am going to be making my coffee. So my favorite little spot is right here, my little coffee bar. So we have some pre-ground coffee in case Garrett wakes up and he doesn't want to wait for me to make him coffee. I have that here. I have some coffee beans in the back. I actually mixed 2 bags because we had gotten a grinder, which I love so much, for my birthday. And so we got like a bunch of bags as gifts, and I combined 2 bags that were almost empty. We have this Dash coffee from February April when I went and visited Lily. Then this one is my absolute favorite. This is the house blend from Espresso Lane. My favorite coffee is from here. And while we were at the Golden Gal Network retreat, I picked up a bag. It's almost empty. I'm so sad. It has like that much left. Honestly, it is my #1 favorite coffee in the world. It smells so good. But I only get it in Herman, Missouri. So when I went down for the weekend retreat, I picked up a bag. Oh my gosh, my sourdough starter doubled in size. No, just kidding. We just added double the amount that we did yesterday. So we did 50 grams of our wheat flour and 50 grams of water. Today we did the same thing, 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. So I'm gonna set this back on the counter. Tomorrow is when we will like divide and feed. So today it was just like essentially doubling it. I'm gonna put that right back on the counter and see what it does for us tomorrow. Very excited, honestly. But now that I've been on sourdough TikTok for like a single moment, all of my videos currently are sourdough recipes, sourdough bread, sourdough fails. Oh my gosh, why do you have a big starter? You should have a little starter. Like all of these videos. I'm like, wow, there's like a whole community of sourdough, which is great and fun and amazing, but I'm like a little overwhelmed, to be honest. Okay, this coffee is amazing this morning. I do need to make myself a little breakfast. I think I'm gonna do eggs and some yogurt. Then I'm gonna sit outside and enjoy the sunshine. Currently, my front porch has my zinnias like blooming and things, but they're not like super bloomed. I don't really have any flowering plants in the back either, but I have so many butterflies and birds that chirp and hang out, so it is really fun to watch them. But I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast outside and then I will start my day. Sometimes the hardest thing as a woman is when to wash your hair. I'm teaching a yoga class tonight, and then I plan on going to a yoga class after I teach, and I'm like, man, should I wash my hair? Should I not wash my hair? I know I'm gonna get a little sweaty, a little sticky, but it kind of needed to be washed, and I want to feel the most confident when I'm teaching a class, and sometimes that means I have to have clean hair. I know that I might feel like a little self-conscious if it was like a little more on the dirty side. Plus I'm completely out of dry shampoo, so that was not an option. So I hopped in the shower this morning just to give myself that extra boost. There's a little outdoor sunroof yoga class that I'll be taking, and I'm so excited. But I'm like, my hair's gonna get gross from that. I might have to take a shower later this afternoon, but I figured in the grand scheme of things, it'll be okay if I have to wash my hair twice, which is kind of unfortunate if you think about it. Like, I don't want to have to wash my hair twice, but if I have to, I will. I have honestly not been doing much with my skin. I had a couple breakouts for the past 2 months on my chin. It was pretty bad. I don't know if it was hormonal or if it just was like irritated. I had gotten like a dermaplane and my chin hair was growing. I don't know, it was just really messy. I have like this big blemish on this side, a little pimple right there. I'm using my Civ Biome Balancing Serum. I have been loving this. It's super easy, and I feel like it makes my skin just like extra soft. And in the summer, I don't really like to do that much with my skin. I feel like it's counterintuitive because we have the sun, I should be protecting against it, but honestly, like, I need my routine to be quicker, and just slapping that on. And then my Eviance face mask has been honestly so nice, and that's all I've really been doing for my skincare, especially because my chin was breaking out. I wasn't sure if it was a new product or if it was hormonal or if it was for my dermaplane or what, so I just like stopped everything and then have slowly been introducing products back in, and right now those are the only 2 I've been using, and I have been liking them. I feel like the rule is you can have bad hair and good makeup, or good hair and no makeup, but you can't have the both. So at least my hair is washed, and maybe I can get away with not putting any makeup on, but we'll see. I'll do some work and then see if I'm feeling up to putting makeup on or not. Not that I have to, but sometimes it does help with a little confidence, you know? So I think we're done here. We're gonna do a little bit of an air dry. I'm gonna get started on work. I have a couple things to do today, and as always, I like to take my little notebook and implement a time period, or what do they call it? Like, in football, it's like first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth, whatever. So it's like, okay, first quarter of my day, second quarter of my day, third quarter of my day, fourth quarter of my day. And that just helps me like stay on track. I have a Golden Gal network. It's actually yoga all week. I'm subbing twice this week. I have my normal classes, and I'm doing a Golden Gal network event that is outdoor yoga. It's sunset yoga as well. Anyways, it's like crazy. So I need to like create the group me for those gals. We have around 22 who will be attending on Sunday. I also have Casey Cuisine Club's little meetup group Saturday morning, or I'm sorry, Sunday morning. Saturday I just have to teach, and then, you know, just get my life together. But Friday night I'm going out with one of my very good friends, Chelsea, and we are gonna go see the new Inside Out movie, which I'm really excited to see. So it's like we got a lot of things going, and I need my schedule to like keep it all in order, so we're feeling good, we're feeling great, and we can feel productive and feel like our time is working for us instead of like the time running out. I was worried about being late, but we're actually 5 minutes early, which is amazing. I have a little pomegranate dragon fruit sparkling water from Target. I grabbed 2 little cheese sticks as a snack. It is steamy, it is hot. My vehicle says it's 111, but my phone says it's 90. But man, it is like steamy. I better get some air going. I'm kind of like regretting washing my hair because now it's gonna poof up like crazy. and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it to the sunset yoga. Like, it's gonna be toasty, it's gonna be warm, so we'll see how that goes. But we are off to teach yoga, day 2 in a row, which is good, but also like planning and thinking of the yoga class and like the different playlists. I'm like, okay, we gotta get a playlist made, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. It takes a lot of work, but we got a lot done on our to-do list today. I'm feeling good. I did not get my podcast completely edited, so that's also like impacting if I want to go to yoga tonight, because I'm like, man, I still have to edit my podcast. But all good things in moderation. We're gonna just take it slow, take it easy, not worry about it, and just like one task at a time. Getting ready to set up my class. I'm gonna put my mat down and then go ahead and check people in. What's your name?
I'm Andrea. I'm here for 101.
Okay. I've talked myself into it. We're going to yoga tonight. I got done with my class at 5:30 and the sunroof yoga isn't until 7:30, so I was like, okay, like I have a lot of time to kill. But there was this like free little car wash code thing. There's like a pile of them at the yoga studio, and I was like, perfect, I'll go wash my vehicle. So I washed it. I, you know, vacuumed some. I had some honey that spilt from a charcuterie box from the retreat, so I like cleaned that up and we're here. I made it. I'm so excited. I texted a couple of my yogi friends and I was like, hey, are you guys going? And they are. So we are gonna head up to the top. We're about 30 minutes early, but I know since it's the end or the summer solstice and it's like a salute to the sun, it's gonna be super busy. People are going to fill up the space, so we're gonna head there now so that we can actually have a yoga spot. So I'm excited. I'm a little frazzled, honestly. Like, this week has been a little wild, so I think some yoga would be good for me. You know, I teach it, but sometimes, you know, I don't always get a practice in as much as I would like, right? Like, if I'm teaching twice in a week, like that's 2 days that I'm not necessarily gonna take. So we have our yoga mat, we have a freshly cleaned vehicle, and we are gonna head up to the top.
Okay, I saved you a spot.
I'm so appreciative.
Last year I wasn't here, I was basically on the flip of the wall over there.
Oh gosh.
Roll back. And then shake it out. Bring your hands together and start to create some heat with your hands. Take your feet hip width distance or wider. And then bend your knees a lot. Allow your chest to soften towards your legs. Inhale, mountain pose, reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment to pause. You can shut down your eyes. Forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. First one, high to mid plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog.
Breathe in with your neighbor, breathe in with the people in the back, the front, side to side, everywhere. Exhale. As you inhale, right leg lifted up to the sky, straight leg, energized through the toes. The yogi toes, I want to see How many? We got hundreds of yogis. I want to see all them yogi poses. Fire it up. Inhale. And exhale. Step your way on through. Find low lunge at the top of your mat. As you inhale, crescent moon. Right knee sets down to your mat. Arms to sweep up to the sky. Beautiful day, isn't it? Wow. As you inhale, you're going to crawl your way forward. Find low lunge with a twist. Reaching, grounding to your left, reaching to the right.
A one-legged mountain. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Inhale, star. Cool thing about nature is nature never is in a hurry.